Good evening, everybody. I don't know, it becomes very difficult to come up with a summary or a comment that is conclusive after losing it last minute. But I personally felt that there was a lot of good work done on the night. We looked quite fairly well organized in defense. And up until we made that dreadful mistake of a back pass, which anyway we had done that before. It was the second time, and I don't know, maybe we needed to suffer a setback to learn that when it is not required or necessary, we couldn't be playing back as we did. But all in all, compliments must be given to Mamelodi Sundowns for keeping. They kept pushing, and up until they got their breakthrough. But I thought from set place they were also a threat. We dealt with that. We also had very few chances, not as clear as well, and we didn't build much from the back because they pressed high. They never allowed us time and space, more especially in our build-up phase. Then we opted to go route one, where I thought we did very well. Even first half, Kumete Mutizwa, the first one going for the ball. The second ball, we managed to, even the introduction of Lamola gave us the same feel. But at the end of the day, scrappy as it looked in the final third, we'll accept that Mamelodi Sundowns won it, even though I personally feel we gave it to them. And that's how I think the match went.
Okay, questions for Coach Steve, please? Sorry, just unmute them. Questions for Coach Steve? Unmute them. Questions for Coach Steve? There's no raise. Please raise your hand so you can be unmuted.
Yes.
Velile?
Yes. Thank you, Velile from SABC. Coach Steve, just looking at the result tonight and also the previous matches, you are one of the few teams in the PSE that is yet to win. What would you attribute the challenges that the teams have been having there? Because some teams have been complaining about finding the rhythm. Some also, you could see that the challenge of combinations is still there. And this is also Sundowns' first win, I think, in 4 matches. In fact, in 5 matches in the PSE now.
It's very difficult to come up with a factual conclusion, very. But one can only maybe talk on what they observe or speculate on what they think is happening. And I would look back and say, teams coming from the coastal areas, how have we done? Maybe I should answer your question by posing questions. Maybe we should check teams coming from the coastal areas. How are they doing? Well, Cape Town City has been doing very well. And when you look at maybe Amazulu, how have they been doing? Our Maritzburg, how have they been doing? Even ourselves, Golden Arrows, we haven't been doing very well. Could it be an issue of altitude? That is a highly scientific argument one can bring up. It should not be an excuse, but a possible question when we look into a report of the COVID-19 tournament. What were the findings? That could be one of the points maybe to be thrown. And when I go back to individual matches, when you look at the match we played against Stellenbosch, who are playing a very difficult, more of a reinforced defense, they make your life difficult. They defend the box like nobody. We played maybe an 80 to 20% possession game. We created plenty chances, but we couldn't score. And they had maybe 1 or 2 chances. The second one, they scored and they won the match 1-0. You put that aside and then you go to Bidvest as well. I thought we had a good game against Bidvest, and who knows, we could have won it. We drew that one. And then again, we come to Mamelodi Sundowns. Previously, it was Black Leopards as well. There's also maybe, could we have defended the second goal better? We didn't follow the keeper. The first goal, was it a penalty? That could be another discussion and argument. Did we play well against Black Leopards? We did. And then comes tonight, which I thought we played extremely well from a defensive organization point of view, and we gave it away in the last minute. Now, when you unpack them from match to match, then you have an understanding and reason why. But when you look at it from a general perspective of what's happening in the bubble tournament, then the discussion becomes slightly different, and it can't be conclusive because some of my observations must also be tested within their different environments. But it hasn't been the best of the tournaments for us since we started.
Can we have 2 last questions, please? Who's next?
Chad here from Kickoff, Coach.
Okay.
I was hoping someone else would ask these tough questions, but it seems I can't escape them. Coach, you obviously started in the bio bubble in the top 8 and dropping down now to 11th position. Is there any concern of not making the top 8? Is that one of the targets that you could miss out? And I mean, is there any expectation from management for you to finish inside the top 8 this season?
I think first you must accept the fact that these tough questions were meant for tough ones like yourself, and you should feel yourself privileged that the tough question has to come from you, and we welcome that, Chet. I think it becomes clear that every team wants to be a champion. At the beginning of the season, everybody would wish to be a champion. And as we drop points, people realize that I can't be a champion. Can I fight to be in the top 4? Maybe I want to go to Africa. As we drop points, then we lower as well our level of ambitions or our goals and all that to say, let me be in the top 8. When you can't make the top 8, obviously, you'll be looking at, I need to stay in the league. So for us, we had been in the top 8 for the better part of the season up until we came to Johannesburg in the bubble, and we never got any results, and we're starting to drift outside the top 8. We are still hopeful that there's still time, there's matches we can play and find ourselves maybe getting into 39 or 40. You then have to win the remaining matches, which is possible. This is football. With regards to the ambition and mandate and all that, listen, every coach's mandate is to win matches, and I'm no different. So I just hope that we can learn from these matches. And the biggest challenge is that at school, you learn and then you write a test. In football, you test, you get tested and learn after. So we've just gone through an examination and a test. I hope we've learned the lesson. But how many times do we have to learn these lessons? And the more you fail, then in football it means the more you should learn. But it looks like we're learning very slow. I hope we'll learn very fast, quick.
Last question.
Coach, it's Mazola here. I just want to ask, obviously it's been difficult for a lot of teams in the bubble to get their rhythm and that. Do we also give the referees leeway as well? Because, you know, maybe they are also, you know, not up to scratch per se.
We have to then determine a commonality of the modest performance from the technicians, players and coaches, then with the referee. Because if we then say that the players and the coaches or clubs are not performing as cohesive and fluid as required, and also officiating is not as sharp as would require, then we then have to understand what could be. There must be a factor that is maybe external causing that. But I think from us as coaches and players, our responsibility in defense is heavily dependent on the level of understanding and rhythm. And as well, it comes from confidence, because the more matches you win, I'm sure teams that play a defensive game, they become very confident in their defensive game, that it becomes perfect and cohesive. And we have not found a team that plays good attacking football. We played against Dallas. We played a good game. We were rhythmic. You could feel cohesion and all that, but we didn't win. And they stuck to their guns. They sat on top of the box. Then one would say, could it be that the preparation was not sufficient? Listen, we can't complain, because to be honest, COVID has given everybody a new spin to how they think and how they do things. You cannot expect to have the best or a normal environment in an abnormal situation brought by the pandemic. Maybe it is for all of us to learn and come out of our comfort zones, to accept the challenge and try dish out and give the best that we can. If the current best that we're trying to give is not good enough, maybe after 3, 4, 5 matches, when we start to get to the rhythm, it will be end of the season ready to start again in no time but a month.